नमो नमः सर्वेभ्यः संस्कृत भाषा शिक्षणे भवतां हार्दं स्वागतम्. So today we are going to start the verbs or kriya padam. Saraswati namastubhyam varde kamarupani vidyarambham karishyami siddhir bhavatu me sada. So we have gone this, before when we were talking about the building blocks. So number of slides will be just a review. So the dhatuhu root is the original form of the verb. The dhatuhu is the basic element and indicates action. It is often represented by this square root symbol before it. There are 2200 roots as defined by Panini are compiled in a book called Dhatu Patha. So I've given you, like, since we are studying roots, this site, ashtadhyayi.com is a very nice site. And if you click on the Dhatu Patha, it has something like this. So it tells it gives the dhatu grouped into the 10 groups. So like this will be the Bhavadi Gana. So Bhu Satyayam is the Panini name. So Bhu Satyayam means is the meaning of the dhatu. It says the Gana. It tells us whether it is a parasmay padi dhatu, atmane padi, or ubhay padi. It also tells us akarmaka dhatu or sakarmaka dhatu. Akarmaka dhatu is one which doesn't have a object associated with it, like he laughs. So there is no object. So hasati would be a akarmaka dhatu. Or Balaha Pustakam Pathati. So what does the boy read? So you have an object book. So Patha would be a Sakarmaka Dhatu. There is a further classification among roots, which is a Sate and Anit. We are going to study this when I talk about Krit Pratyas. And here is the meaning of the Dhatu. The nice thing about this is that if you click on this bhu, you will get the conjugation of the dhatu in all the 10 lakaras. So I use this link quite often. It's very it is grouped into groups, and it's a very nice website. The other one is, I think I have sent this. It's a Dhatu Kosha by Medha Michika. It also has the prefixes. So here the way she has done is that this is the Dhatu, Ansh, this is the name, Sangha, and this is in alphabetical order. The Ashtadhyayi was according to the groups, and she has in alphabetical orders. And then this is the simplified version, which we use, Ansh. So here the it letter, Anunasika, is removed. So of Ansh, only this part remains. It tells us the group. Like, so this belongs to the 10th group. UPA means Ubhay Padi, Parasmay Padi, and Atmane Padi. S and A denotes Set and Anit. And here she gives the meaning of the dhatu. The only thing which I like, it is in alphabetical order, so it makes it easy, but it's not interactive. Like you cannot, like in Ashtadhyayi, if you click on it, you get the conjugation. Here, it is just a PDF. Other resources on dhatus are like Dhatu Rupa Manjari. This is a very old book. The PDF is on our I have loaded the PDF on the drive. This is another site which I use quite often. And this is the PDF which Swami Paramarthananda has compiled in 1980s, and it gives all the upsargas. So this is a very, very important document. Like let's say you take a dhatu ansh, and then you have, or anch, then like here only, the visarga, upsarga, V is used, but for anch, you have all the possible upsargas, and then you have the meaning. So this is a very, it's a very nice document. Okay. So a dhatu can either start or end with a vowel or a consonant. For example, as. So as starts with a vowel a, and it is in the second group. It is a parasmaipadi dhatu, and we've been using this dhatu, means to exist. So verb forms are asti, asi, asmi. But, so here it starts with a consonant, pa, right? It is again a 1P, and you all know the verb forms. Then the dhatu could only end in a vowel. So like ni. So it is a bhavadi gana ubhaypadi dhatu, means to lead. Now, if you look at the form from ni, it becomes nayati. And I'm going to talk about how ni becomes naya. Then bhu, again a 1P, bhavati. So again, bhu becomes bhava. So we're going to talk about that. Sra is a 1P, it becomes sarati. So these here are special, like a sandhi happens, a vowel sandhi happens, and that's why ni becomes naya, bhu becomes bhava, and sra becomes sara. Then the dhatu kra, to do this is from the 8th, karoti, karoshi, karomi. So the vowel between two consonants is called a medial vowel. For example, in the dhatu buddh. So buddh is ba, u, dha. So u is the medial vowel, and it is between the two consonants. Buddh means to know, and you again see that buddh becomes bodhati. It is not buddhati, it is bodhati. So a vowel sandhi happens here. Krish, to plow. Again, r is your medial vowel, and krish becomes karshati. Again, a vowel sandhi takes place here. G, here E is the medial vowel, but this form doesn't change. And again, I will go through it why G becomes Jivati. It doesn't become, like it remains as it is. On Nind, to blame, here E is the medial vowel, but again, it remains as Nindati. So we have gone through this, and I'm just going to review the material. So the verb forms are formed as, to the root, you add a group affix and a verbal suffix, and then the resulting will be a verb form or a kriya pada. So there are 4 things to watch out here. What type of the root it is, whether it is a parasmaipadi root, atmanepadi, or ubhaypadi. Then which of the 10 groups does it belong? And depending that each group has a group affix, so we add that to the root. And then the verbal suffix. So this changes, this depends whether the root is a parasmaipadi root or an atmanepadi root. And then the verb form change across 6 tenses and 4 moods. So these are the 4 items which are associated, which are used in forming a verb form. So we are going to talk about each of them. So type of roots. So there are 3 types of roots. Every action in theory is potentially either self-directed or other-directed. So the first type is parasmaipadi dhatu, and it is often in dictionaries is denoted by the letter uppercase P. Parasmai means for others. So actions that are done for the benefit of others are described using parasmaipadi roots. For example, the root nam, it is a 1p root, to bow down. One can bow down only to others, not to oneself. So nam is a parasmai dhatu, like balaha devam namati. The boy bows down to God. So nam is a parasmai padi dhatu. Then atmane padi dhatu is denoted by the uppercase A, and atmane means for oneself. So actions done for one's own benefit are described using atmanepadi roots. For example, the root she, it is from the second group, and it is an atmanepadi root, which means to sleep. If someone sleeps, he alone gets the benefit. So it is an atmanepadi dhatu. And the conjugations will be different. So here it was namati in the third person singular. Here it is shete. It is not like the verb forms will be different depending the type of the root. So balaha shete, the boy is sleeping. Then ubhay padi dhatu are denoted by the uppercase U, and ubhay means both. So some roots are both parasmai padi and atmane padi. For example, actions that can be done for others or for oneself are described using ubhay padi roots. For example, the root vap is an ubhay padi root, and it means to sow. So the farmer may be sowing seeds for his own field. So krishikaha bijani vapate. So this is a atmane pada form. So the farmer sows seed for somebody else for whom he works. So it is in this thing, in an atmane pada form. But if you have krishikaha bijani vapati, then you are using a parasmai padi form. So this, depending, if it is done for others or for one own self, you use the form atmane padi form or a parasmai padi form. Pach, again it is an ubhay padi dhatu, to cook. Mother cook rice for others. Mata odanam pachati. Mother cooks food for herself, then it becomes an atmane pada form. Mata odanam pachate. Now, this difference between atmane padi and parasmai padi is not always very clear. So, for example, the dhatu khat, it is listed as a parasmai padi dhatu, but like one eats for oneself or for others, so it's not that clear. So in many cases, this classification is clear, but not so clear in other cases. So the group. So all the roots are grouped into in these 10 groups. And the reason for this grouping is that they behave in the same manner in a particular group. So these groups are like Bhuvadi Gana, Adadi, and so on. And the name of the Gana is defined by the first dhatu in that group. So Bhu plus Adi. Adi means etc. So Bhu plus Adi, there is an Ayadi Sandhi here. So that's why it becomes Bhavadi. And it has about 1,000 plus roots. So it has more than the total number of roots. Then you have all and each group has a Gana affix, which you add when you are forming the conjugation. For example, the Bhavadi Gana has the Gana affix as a. So we are going to, like, if you study first, fourth, sixth, and 10th Gana, you more or less cover most of the roots. And the other two rules which are very important, which you see their use, is the dhatu as, which means to be, and that belongs to the second gana, adadi gana, and the dhatu kro, which means to do, which belongs to the eighth group. So we are just going to study these four dhatus from these four ganas. Then verbal suffixes. So the third bullet was the verbal suffixes. So verbal suffixes are 18 in number. They are divided into two groups. The first set of 9 suffixes are called parasmaipada, and the second set of 9 suffixes are called atmanepada. So the verbal suffixes are called ting pratyayas because the first verbal suffix starts with the ti and ends with a ng. So ting, that's why it is called ting pratyayas. Like for the nam padam, they were called sup, and for the verbal suffixes, they are called ting. So these are the 9 parasmaipadi suffixes, and these are the 9 atmanepadi suffixes. Then the last bullet was the tenses and moods. So there are 10 lakaras, and they are called lakara. So there are 10 lakaras, lat lakara, which is the present case. So we've been, doing a lot of sentences in the present tense. Then we are going to study the lang lakara, which is the simple past tense, like agachat. So this is gachati, agachat. He went. And we are going to study 2 moods, lot lakara, which means let him go, like a command or a wish or an order. Gachatu, and vidhiling, gachet, he should go. So these are the 4 lakaras which we are going to study. Okay. So now we are going to, I'm going to go through the parasmaipada suffixes in the present tense or lat lakara. Lat lakara. So these are the 9 verbal suffixes. They simplify to ti, tah, anti, si, tah, tha, mi, vah, mah. So we've been using these verbal forms, so nothing new here. So in order to form the verb forms, so these are the 3 persons, third, second, first, like, and then 3 numbers, singular, dual, and plural. So you take the dhatu pat, so it is a 1p dhatu. So then you add the group suffix. This belongs to the first group. So the group suffix were a. So pat plus a, and then you add these 9 verbal suffixes, the simplified one, and you get the conjugation of the dhatu pat in the lat lakara in the present tense. So it is pathati, pathatah, pathanti, pathasi, pathatah, pathatah, pathami, pathavah, pathama. And like here, like if you say pat plus a plus ti, it becomes pathati. And then in these cases, there are some special rules which apply. So you really don't need to know, how these forms are derived. You just need to know that the dhatu patha, which is a 1p, conjugates like this. Pathati, pathatah, pathanti, pathasi, pathatah, pathata, pathami, pathavah, pathama. So you all know by now that pathati means he, she, or it reads. They too read. Pathatah, dual. Pathanti, they all read. Pathasi, you read. Pathatah, you too read. Pathata, you all read. I read, we too read, and we all read. So all parasmai dhatus in the first gana, meaning bhavadi gana, will conjugate like the dhatu pat. So if you know if you remember this conjugation, all 1,000, like not 1,000, like I think about 500 and 600 are parasmaipadi, and I don't know the number, but rough, that's what my guess is, will conjugate like the dhatu pat. For example, pat, which means to fall, is the similar. Patati, patatah, pat. And you can see ti, tah, anti, si, tha, tha, mi, vah, ma. But in the first person, it elongates, like this becomes long. That's you have to remember. Pata, it is not patami. It is patami, patavah, patamah. So khad again is a 1P, dhav is a 1U, and they conjugate like the dhatu pat. So now the atmane pade suffixes in the present tense, we have done this also. So this they were ta, atam, jha, and so on, and they simplified to te, ite, ante, se, ite, dve, e, vahe, mahe. And you do exactly what you did with the parasmai suffixes. So labh, which means to obtain, is an atmane padi dhatu, and it also belongs to the group 1. And then you take the dhatu, you add the group suffix a, and then you add these simplified verbal suffixes, and you get the form labhate, labhete, labhante, labhase, labhethe, labadhve, labhe, labhavahe, labamahe, and the same thing. And again, here you see they get long, labhavahe, because it was vahe, mahe, a. So you have to just know these conjugations. So again, like lab, so it is the same, it obtains, they too obtain, and so on. And again, all atmane padi dhatus in the first gana will conjugate like lab. So for example, vand, to salute or to praise, is an atmane padi dhatu, and it has the same conjugation. Vandate, vandete, vandante, and so on, or come. So this was kind of a review what we have talked before, and most of the material you are familiar with. So now I'm going to start something new. So in bhavadi ganaha, the final vowel of a root take guna. So why this ni becomes naya, or bhu becomes bhava. So here is the explanation. So the final vowel takes the guna. So ni means to lead. So ni is na and e. So the guna of e is a, right? The guna of e is a. You remember the guna sandhi. So guna of e is a. So this na and e becomes ne, right? If you take the guna of e, then it becomes ne. Now, when you form the form ne plus a is your gana affix, and then you add the verbal suffix ti. So now ne plus a. So here ayadi sandhi will take place. So ne is na and a, and a plus ti. Now a plus a is here the purva roop sandhi is not going to, doesn't take place. This becomes aya, right? So it is not like this will not become an avgraha, right? Like if you have usually a plus this will be delighted. It doesn't happen in this verb forms. So this will be the a becomes aya, right? Yeah. So a plus a becomes aya. So aya, sorry, a is replaced by aya, not a plus a. Both are not replaced. Just a is replaced by aya, a and ti. So na yati. So let me go through this one more time. The final vowel of a root take guna. So ni. So the ni and ni is na and e. So e takes the guna and it becomes ne. So now it is ne plus a plus ti. Here ne plus a, the purva roop sandhi will not apply. Doesn't apply here when it is when you are doing a conjugation. So it is this a will be replaced by aya. So na plus aya plus a plus ti becomes nayati. Bhu. So bhu, bha and u, the guna of u is bho. So this bha and u becomes bho. Then bho plus a plus ti. Again, this o will become av. So o becomes av. So bha plus o plus a plus ti. So this becomes bhavati. Sra. So sra is sa and ra. The guna of ra is ar. So this becomes sar. So sar plus a plus ti becomes sarati. This is sra dhatu means to go. So the final vowel takes the guna and then there is this sandhi. A becomes aya and o becomes ava. So ni will the conjugations will be nayati, nayata, and then to this now this ti, if you replace by all the 9 suffixes, it will be the same. Nayati, nayataha, nayanti, nayasi, nayataha, nayatha, nayami, nayavaha, nayamaha. Same with bhav, right? So it will be bhavati, bhavataha, bhavanti, bhavasi, bhavataha, bhavata, and so sarati, sarataha, saranti. The second rule is that the short medial of a root takes guna. So short medial vowel of a root takes guna. So bud. So the vowel, so u was your medial vowel between the two constant ba and tha. So this u will take a guna and it becomes bo. So bodhati. So you will have bodhati, bodhataha, bodhanti, and so on. The important thing to note here is only the short. If it was a long, as we will see later, then it doesn't take a guna. Krish, to plow. So ra, the guna is ar, so it becomes karsh, karshati. So your forms will be karshati, karshataha, karshanti, and so on. Now, when a short vowel is followed, now here, G, it is a long vowel. So this doesn't take a guna. Only a short medial vowel takes a guna. A long medial vowel does not take a guna. So G will remain as Jivati, Jivasi, Jivami, and so on. Now, Nind. Here, E is a short one, right? But it is followed by a conjunct consonant, na and a the. So then it is considered as long. So if a medial vowel is followed by a conjunct consonant, then it is considered as long. So when a short vowel is followed by a conjunct, it is counted as long. So if it is long, then it doesn't take the guna. So it will remain as it is. Nindati, nindataha, nindanti, and so on. So that's how you get these forms like ni nayati, bhu bhavati, sra sarati, and here bud bodhati, krish karshati, and this long one remains as they are. Okay, so we are done with the present tense. And we were using, like I've talked about both the Atmanepada and the Parasmaipadi and Atmanepadi. Now we are going to talk about Lang Lakara. Lang Lakara is a simple past tense, like he went, she came, and so on. So here also, The parasmay, now we're going to first talk about the parasmay pada suffixes and then the atmanepadi suffixes. Here also these suffixes, these are your parasmay padi suffixes. And in each lakara, they simplified. So you saw in the present tense, they simplified to ti, tah, anti, and so on. In the past tense, the parasmay padi suffixes simplified to ta, tam, an, sa, which becomes a visarga, tam, ta, va, ma. So this is what the parasmay padi suffixes in a past tense, simple past tense, simplified to. So, and another thing which is when forming the past tense, that the root is prefixed by the vowel a. So you add an a before the root. This is only for the past tense, not for the lot or the vidling. So formation of the verb form in a past tense, a is prefixed. So what you do is, in order to form past tense forms, verb forms, you prefix a, then you have a root, then you have a group affix, then the verbal suffix, and you have a verb form. So for example, pat. Now you want the past tense forms of the dhatu pat. So you first add a, then the dhatu, then which group the dhatu belongs to, which is the group affix of that group, which is, it was bhavadi, so a, and then the verbal suffix ta. So a pathat. So a, ta, and a becomes ta, and ta, a pathat. Then tam, a pathatam, here. A pathan, an, and then with this visarga, so a patha, like you add sa, which becomes a visarga, a patha, patha, a pathatam, a pathat, a patham. Here it doesn't get elongated, but in these two cases it will be a pathav, a patham. So a pathat, he or she read. Those two read. They all read. You read. You read. So this all are past tense forms. A pathat, a pathatam, a pathan, a patah, a pathatam, a pathat, a patham, a pathav, a patham. So one way to recognize that it is a past tense form is that it will be always prefixed with the letter vowel a. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at some more conjugations. So I'll take the root gum, which means to go. So it will be, you see the a prefixes, and then you add all those 9 parasmay pada suffixes for the past tense parasmay padi. So you have agachat, he or she or it went. Agachatam, they too went. Agachan, they all went. Agacha, you went. Agachatam, you too went. Agachat, gachata, you all went. Agacham, I went. Agacha. So in here, it doesn't get elongated, but in these two, this becomes long. Agacha, we too went. Agacham, we all went. So now, if you, let's say, I'm just going to take this root gum and add some upsargas to it, some prefixes to it, and then it changes the meaning. So you all know by if you add agachati, it was come, right? So if you add, so like the present tense will be gachati, gachati, gachataha, gachanti, and so on. agachati, agachata, to come. So same thing you can do with the past tense. So you add this, let's say the upsarga is a. So we change the meaning of gum to go to come. So a, so you add a, then you add this in the past tense, you will have this a prefix to the root, then you have the root, and then you have the verbal suffixes, right? So now there is always, because this a is here, when you add a upsarga, there will always be a sandhi. So this a and a becomes a, but in others there will be a yan sandhi and so on. So here a plus a becomes a. So you will have, and you will have the same endings, right? So you will have agachat. He came, right? He or she, or it, he came. Agachatam, agachan, agachah, agachatam, agachat, agacham, agachav, agacham. So this, like here it was go, went, and came. So here. Now if you add an upsarga anu, anu means if you add an upsarga anu to the root gum, it means to go along with. Gum means to go, but if you add anu to it, then it means to go along with. So now in order to form the past tense, you will have anu plus a plus gum, and then you have all the suffixes. So now, again, look at the sandhi now. There will be a sandhi here because anu plus a, so there will be a yan sandhi here. So anu plus a, this u becomes a v, right? And na, so anu plus a becomes anva. Right? This is a yan sandhi going on. So when you are adding upsargas in the past tense, there will be always a sandhi because this is prefixed by the vowel a. In present tense, it will be just anugachati because there was no a. So anugachati, anugachasi, anugachami, right? So there was no sandhi. But in the past tense, there will be a sandhi. So anu plus a will be anvagachat, anvagachatam, anvagachan, anvagachah. So, you know, there will be this sandhi. So when you add the upsarga anu to the dhatu gam, in the past tense, it will become anva, to go along with. Now, if you, let's say you add a upsarga adhi. So adhi, when added to the root gam, it means to know, to obtain. So like adhi gachati means I know. Oh, sorry, he or she knows. Adhi gachami will means I know. Right? So now here, look, adhi plus a, there will be a yan sandhi again. E plus a, so it will be adhyagachat. So adhyagachat, adhyagachah, adhyagacham. So this a is replaced by adhya. Now if you add the upsarga upa, upa plus gam means to approach. Like in the present tense, upa gachasi, you approach, right? But in the past tense, if you add upa, then again, a of upa, and this a will be along. Upagachat. He approached, he or she approached. You approached. I approached. So it will be upagachat, upagachah, upagacham, upagachatam, and so on. Now if you add the upsarga nir, so if you add this to the root gam, it means to get out, to go away. So nira plus a will just, if there is no sandhi here, it will be just ra and a will be nira, nira gachat. You know, gacham, I got out, right? But if it was present tense, it would be simply be like, it will be this one, nirgachat. Here it will be niragachat. So this is something to watch out when, doing the past tense formations with upsargas. So let's do some examples. So the present tense, this will be pathati, pathatah, pathanti, pathasi, pathatah, pathata, pathami, pathavah, pathama. And the past tense will be apathat, apathatam, apathan, apatha, apathatam, apathat, apatham, apathava, apathama. So balaha atra odanam akhadat. So the boy ate cooked rice here, right? Akhadat. So khad will again conjugate just like the pat dhatu. So akhadat. So here you have a sandhi. This will be like shivoham sandhi. So balo and a and o will be a vriddhi sandhi au, and ma and a will become ma. So balo traudana, balau traudana makhadat. Right? So like when you do the sandhi, this sentence will become like this. So here you have a vriddhi sandhi, and here you have a shivoham kind of a sandhi. Chhatraha prasannaha abhavat. Again, this form, abhavat. So the student became happy. So here prasannaha abhavat, again you will have prasanno bhavat. Marjaraha mushakam apashyat. So the dhatu is drish. This is an irregular dhatu, drish, which becomes pash. So, which means to see. So the cat saw the mouse. So marjaraha mushakam apashya. So this is all this third person singular, these three examples. So here, sorry, this is a mistake. This should be marjaro. The visarga won't drop because ma is a soft consonant. So this is a typo error. Marjaro, and this mushakama pashyat. Here. Okay. Now we'll look at this form, third person dual. So now Ramaha cha Lakshmanaha cha vanam agachatam. So like the cha could be after this thing, or cha could be after each word. You could either way the use of cha. So we've been using Ramaha Lakshmanaha cha. I thought we will use this form. Ramaha cha Lakshmanaha cha vanam agachatam. Like similar like apathatam. So here visarga is followed by a cha. Visarga becomes a sha. So Ramascha, Lakshmanascha, Vanam, ma and a, Vanma gachatam. Ram and Lakshmana went to the forest, the past tense. Now we'll give an example of the plural. Tani patrani kupe apatan. Pat dhatu. So apatan, this is a plural. So patrani, this is a neuter, those leaves. Tani, this is a noun which is acting as an adjective. Those leaves. Patrani kupe apatan. So those leaves fell in the well. So again, kupe apatan. So here you will have a purva rupa sandhi. A will be delighted, and it will be kupe patan. Okay. Now apatha tvam udyanat agachah. You came from the garden. Like this is the Panchami Vibhakti. Agachah. Apatha agachah. So here again you have a ta will become a da. It's a consonant sandhi because ta is followed by a vowel. So da. Yeah. Then agachatam, like you too. So this form, yuvam, tvam yuvam yuyam. So you too, aparnam agachatam, like you too went to the shop, right? Agachatam. So again, it's just combining. There's no sandhi here. Satyam avadam. The dhatu is vad. So avadam, apatham, like avadam. I spoke the truth. Satyam avadam. Again, no sandhi here. Okay, the two, I want to, like these two, as I mentioned before, the dhatu as and the dhatu kra, their conjugation, one you should know, like because they are used quite often. So I'm going to give the past tense conjugation. They will be not the same as the bhavadi gana because different rules apply. So just, you have to just know the final form. So as was asti, right? Asti and so on. So here the past form is asit. So you should know, like this is used very often. Asit, asan. So asit, astam, asan, asihi, astam, asta, asam, asva, asma. And then here, so let's some examples. Ekah nrapah asit. So there was a king. So here the sandhi will be eko, visarga will be dropped because it is followed by a. Astam, bale. So girls, remember like bala, bale, balaha, two girls. Bale, atra, astam. Two girls were here. So here you have a sandhi, bale, so bale trastam, like purvarupa sandhi, a will be delighted, and this tra and a will be tra. Asan, we will use this form. Samipe bahavaha amra vrikshaha asan. Nearby. Samipe is an avveha, non-declinable means nearby. There were many mango trees. Amra vrikshaha. So here, asan, because your subject is this one, plural. So the word will be plural, and this is an adjective, bahu. So bahava, like it will decline like guru, bahava. So nearby there were many mango trees. So here, this visarga will be dropped because it is followed by a long a, and again this visarga will also drop. Okay. Now let's look at this form, asihi, which is tvam. Tvam kutra asihi. Where were you? Tvam kutra, where? Asihi. So here, no sandhi here. Oh, sorry. Here, this should not be. This should be a space here. This is not combined. And this is wrong. So this would be tvam, space, kutrasihi, right? So there's a typo here. Okay. Now we'll look at this declension. Akarot, akurutam, akurvan, akaroho, akurutam, akurut, akaravam, akurva, akurma. I know there are a lot of conjugations to remember, but at least you know. So when you come across in Gita, like you could always go in a dictionary and look these conjugations. So, so here, adya aham vishramam akarvam. So this form. Today I rested. So adya, today, aham, Vishramam akarvam. Sandhi here. Here was sandhi, dirgha sandhi. Avam karyam akurva. So, like then you will have this one. Akurva. We too did the work, the past tense. So, I have Atmane Padadham declension, but I think I will do that in the next class. And I think I will end the class here because there was, all these conjugations, too many. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Any part, if you want me to go over again, I can go. We have still 10 minutes.
So, Kumuji, it appears when we were going through the Parasmepadi,
I don't, somehow your voice is always, I'm unable to hear. Could you speak up a little?
Yeah, I'll speak up a little. Sorry, I may have been speaking softly. Yeah, so when you were going to the Parasmepadi, it appears that whenever, we add that suffix, right? The group suffix a for bhavadi.
Yeah.
But when it is followed by another as in anti, we drop one of them. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it. That was the rule here. See, like, but if you form this form here, right?
Yeah.
So your pata, this is a special rule comes here.
Okay.
So pata plus anti, it is not patanti. So
Right.
this is that's why I have highlighted, like, these are the special rules which come in play. So this is not, it doesn't become long.
Correct.
And here also, like, the ending is mi, vah, mah, but then it is not patami. It becomes patami, patavah, patama. So these are the special rules which apply when forming the verb forms in the Parasmaipadi Dhatu.
Okay, got it. So basically, if it is followed by ma or va, then you make it a. If it is followed by another then you drop one of the as in anti. Okay.
Yeah, see, there are 4 special rules. Like if you look at these conjugations in detail, all of them follow the, like there's a, but here, anti, one is dropped. It becomes only like this, so it is patanti, not patanti. And it is not patami, patavaha, patama. It is patami, patavaha, patamaha.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, that's I noticed it. I just wanted to confirm that. Thank you.
Yeah, and that's why I think when I was doing it like that, that's why these were highlighted, that these are the, like in the Nam Padan, there are many rules, but here they're not, when you are forming verb forms, there are not that many rules. So these are the rules in this case.
And the other question I had, Kumuji, is that when you were talking about the simple past tense, I guess that is the lung lakara.
Yeah.
That one. When you have the upasargaha, the way you do it is you first form the ordinary lan lakara and then you add the upasargaha. Is that correct?
Either way, yeah, like that's what you will do. Like first you say, like, let's say this one, let's say this, so this is the form gam, right? Agachat, agachatam, and now let's say you want to add anu to it, to change the meaning, to go along with. Then you will have anu plus agachat, and then you will have this sandhi between u and and it will become anvagachat.
Gotcha. And so this is always, whenever you have upasarga, this is the way you will do it.
Yeah. So this is like, that's why I gave this, because in past tense, because you are prefixing with there's always, in most cases, there will always be a sandhi.
Gotcha. Okay. And this is very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. And this is only typical to the past tense when you prefix, like in present, load and whittling, you do not do that. And this is also kind of gives you a hint like that this, if it is a verb is prefixed, then you know that it is a past tense.
Gotcha. I see. Got it.
Like even in the first verse, Kim Akurvat Sanjaya. So, like Dharam Kshetra, Kurukshetra, to Kurvat, Akurvat.
Right.
And that is the, because it is a, like it is not Akurvan because it is a Atmane Pada form, Akurvat.
Gotcha. I have one final question, Kumuji. So, one verb that I'm familiar with is atati, which means to wander.
Yeah.
So when you're doing the lan lakaraha, you do a plus a.
Yeah, atati, like if you add a prefix, like if a verb begins with a vowel, then you will have a sandhi, like if you add an upsarga to it.
Gotcha. Or even with the it will become atati because a plus a will become a.
Yeah, like for example, let's say prati agachat, comes towards me. Prati agachati, right? Towards the prati and agachati. Then you will have a e and a, so you will have a yarn sandhi there.
No, what I meant is that you can have a sandhi even with a very basic form, even a plus the root, if it starts with a vowel. So atati starts
if the root starts with a vowel and you add an upsarga, which then there will be a sandhi.
Gotcha. Like even with the got it. Okay, got it. Thank you. One more question, if nobody else has, which is you showed these rules for, short medial vowel and final vowel and all that. Now, are these, so that's a point I want to understand. So these are rules only for the Bhavadi Gana.
Yeah, they're only from the Bhavadi Gana. Like if you have, then like in other ganas, they will, like the root will not take a guna and says, yeah.
Right. So when we go to the
gana, like when you go to a Divadi Gana or something, like then these rules will not apply. So these only apply to the dhatus in the Bhavadi Gana.
Gotcha. Okay, that's very helpful. Thank you.
I would really recommend that at least you go to this site, and this is very, very helpful, like Ashtadhyaya, and if you click on Dhatu Pata, and they also give meanings in Hindi. So I find it, sometimes is easy. And if you just, it's interactive. And the search engine is very nice. Either you can type in English or in Hindi, and it is able to look for that dhatu. So if you just type in the dhatu, then it will, search and will come up with, and then you can click and look at the content. And it gives the complete, all the 10 lakh, and it gives other information also, which we haven't studied, but it gives other verb forms too. So like, for example, if you click with bhu here, it will give you the all, conjugations of the dhatu bhu in all possible verb forms. So like this document, I find this very useful, and this one very useful, the Swami Paramarthananda's PDF, very useful. Like it lists all the following upsargas which one could use and the meaning of it. So these two documents are very useful.
So, Kumuji, I have a question. This is not so much about the grammar, but about the meaning. Whenever a particular upasarga is used, like prati or anu or whatever, does it always tend to modify the meaning in the same?
No, sometimes it just puts an emphasis on it and the meaning remains the same. But I'm going to talk about that, how, in what ways the upsarga changes the original root. Like sometimes it just emphasizes it. It doesn't change the meaning.
Okay, but when it changes the meaning, is it a tendency to change in the same way?
That again, like here, like what do you mean the same way? That means that anu added to any other root will be the same kind of. That's what you mean.
So anu means to go along. Is follow.
So that
right?
means to go to
To follow, to go
along with.
Right.
In a sense, yes, but see, these also roots have many different meanings. Like it's not the same.
right.
Like one root could mean number of things, right?
Correct.
So in a sense, yes, and in some sense it's also different. But in a sense, yes. So like anu, adi, upa, they all will have the same meaning to all the roots.
Yeah, okay.
But then to go along with, because gam dhatu means to go, if you add anu, then it means to go along with. But if this dhatu was pat, then anu.
That's what, but then you will never add anu to pat.
Yeah, so
it's not that all the utsargas will be added to all the dhatus.
So to which dhatus would you add something like an anu?
Well,
Anudhavati. Now, if you say anudhavati, then it will mean follows.
Hmm.
Right.
The other one, Kumuji, I'm familiar with is Anusarati.
Anusarati. So, like this is sarati means to move, and anusarati I think is flows, right?
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
So anusarati, what will to flow with?
I thought Anusarati means to follow, but I may be wrong.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, sarati, right. Sarati means to go. Anusarati will be to follow. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, it's not like it's not, because like, for example, even here, like if you look. Right, for example, the dhatu aid, to grow, to increase, to prosper, to extend, to swell, to rise. Like there's so many different meanings, right?
Right.
Like for the dhatu aid, now if you add, so the meaning would change.
Actually, one example came to my mind, Kumuji. Vishati means to enter, but Upavishati means to sit.
Yeah. I'm like tishtati, to stay. Sometimes it is used also to sit. Sometimes it is also used
To
like uttishtati means get up, right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
So that's why this, like, if you really want to, go, this is, this document by Swami Paramarthananda, I find it very useful. Like it has, up, ut, to go up, rise, appear. Yeah, so. Any other questions, any comments?
No, thank you, Kumuji. This was very interesting. I'll have to study it though.
Yeah, that's just like it's becoming, because now you will have lot lakara, again you will have parasmai atmane padi, then you have vidiling parasmaya. So yeah, but that's the way it is.
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Okay.
Good night, Kumunji.
Good night.